time since 2016, the Dallas Cowboys are seeking to secure a 6-1 record to start the season. Welcome to Cowboys Rewind. I'm Britt Johnson. The Dallas Cowboys are coming off a bye week in Week 7 and looking to keep a 5-game win streak alive going into Week 8 as they take on the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's move into move into Sunday Night Football on NBC. Cowboys, Vikings. As a defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, what's your bigger worry? Is it Jefferson, Thielen, the tight ends? Is it Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison? Cook's been dealing with some issues this year in terms of injuries, was hurt for a little bit. So where do you decide to stop the Vikings if you're defensive coordinator Dan Quinn? I'll start with you, Danny.
You got to stop the run.
Yeah.
You have to stop Dalvin Cook, because if you don't, then you got 3 guys running loose in your secondary. All right. So you need to make sure you're able to stop the run. Make sure you're able to stop the screen game, because they are very good with Dalvin Cook in the screen game. Mm-hmm. And then you let your defensive backs play coverage on those guys. What we know is we're going to give up some plays in the secondary. Just don't let them throw it over your head. Make the tackle on these guys. Minimize the yards after catch. But you can't do any of this if you got Dalvin Cook running every which way throughout your defense. So you have to stop the run. You need to focus on stopping Dalvin Cook, because last week we also saw that our linebackers can have some issues when you have one of those type of backs coming out of the backfield.
Without a doubt. I mean, you hit it right on the head right there, 100%. I mean, we got to be able to stop this run. And what scared me a little bit was not the week before when we played the Patriots, Harris was able to crease us right up the gut against our defense, and that's supposed to be the heart of our defense. He was able to crease us early in the game, and definitely in the fourth quarter, they drove the ball all the way down the field, running the ball basically right in between our tackles. So to me, that's got to be somewhat of a worry, because Harris isn't half of the back of what Dalvin Cook is. Even though Cook has been dealing with injuries, last week he ran phenomenal in my opinion. The week before the bye, he ran phenomenal. Okay. So he's going to come in after a bye week as well, more rested, more fresh, ready to come into. We played him here, or did we go up there?
It's in Minnesota.
In Minnesota. He's ready for us to come up to Minnesota. So we got to stop that run. And to your point, if we don't do that, it's kind of like picking our poison out there. It's kind of what we do to other teams. They come in there, they stop our run, we still got to be able to pass the ball. So we got to be able to stop these guys running the ball. And we got to figure out some way, somehow, to lock down Thielen. If it was up to me, I'm leaving Diggs on Jefferson. I'm like, look, man, you got this. This is you. And now if Jefferson exposes him, Diggs, then you gotta figure something out. But I'm living him on Diggs for a little, or Diggs on Jefferson for a little bit, and I'm doubling Thielen, because I don't think Anthony Brown can handle Thielen. Intermediate routes, short routes, deep routes. I just think he's a better player than Anthony Brown right now, and I think we need more help on that side of the ball. So to me, I'm leaving Diggs over there. Hopefully he can get his thing done. If he doesn't, then we go back to a traditional defense and maybe have help on both sides. But to me, leave Diggs, double Thielen, and you got to stop the run. If not, it's going to be a long afternoon.
Last time the Cowboys had a record this good to start the season, they ended with a 13-3 regular season record and lost in the divisional round to the Packers. The question is, are the players surprised at their own success? More when we return.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. This segment is brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
When you put in the hard work, there are no surprises when the results start pouring in the form of W's, of course, just as Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott.
There's another aspect of your team I'd love to hear you talk about, Zeke. Several of your teammates, have commented about how unselfish this group is, and maybe more so than some of the good teams that you have been on here. Do you agree with that? And if you do, in what way does that happen?
I agree that we have a very unselfish team, just because I think we truly understand that when we all have success, that's where we're going to have the best success. And I don't think there's one individual on the team that really cares about their individual success. I think we're all just very focused on winning as a team, and I think that shows in our play.
Ask Zeke the question you asked me before he got here.
What's the most surprising thing to you so far this year about the team?
The most surprising thing to me so far about the team, I don't know if anything this year's happened that surprised me.
Because for me, it was how much this year feels like 2016. Just the kind of the vibe, and everybody was having fun. Everybody was relaxed. You guys started off, what was it, 6-1 that year, I believe.
5-1 going into the bye.
5-1 going to the bye, and it kind of has you guys just being around y'all on game day. It feels like you guys, you genuinely like each other, and you're getting along. You're having fun, and you're just kind of enjoying it. But you're killing it on the field. You're doing a great job. That the record reflects that. So I think for me, that's the biggest surprise to me is how awesome this season has felt so far.
So you're telling me you thought that we were going to be terrible?
No, not
so
at
you're
all.
surprised that
He's
we're
calling
good.
me out. No. It just, to me, it's
You're surprised we're so good.
yeah, I guess, yeah, a little bit, yeah. That you guys are 5-1 at this point, and you guys have really dominated some teams.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm surprised by that. I'd say, I feel like we put in the work. When you look at last year and just all the adversity, everything we went through, and just all that took us to get to this point this year, just all the guys coming back from injury, and how hard they worked. I think we're reaping the benefits of all the hard work and all the hard work we put in this offseason.
This is football, so the mentality is always any given Sunday, anything can happen. Each week is a new challenge and a new opportunity. And this week, the Cowboys had a handful of players return to practice. More on who's rejoined the lineup when we return.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
First quarter of the season, the Cowboys suffered several losses. Luckily, thanks to the depth this team has, they didn't miss a beat. Players like Michael Gallup, Tristan Hill, and La'el Collins all returned to practice this week, but the early depth chart has Cowboys Nation a little perplexed.
So Kurt prints out the depth chart, which we really don't normally pay a whole lot of attention to.
Right.
Except the other team to see how to pronounce names and who's playing and who's backing up, and then but there's something really weird, on the depth chart today, on the Cowboys depth chart. It is if you go down to left guard, and then you go down to right tackle,
Backup wise,
yes, the second string. There's a guy that you may be really familiar with. His name, La'el Collins.
Yep, that's surprising.
But he doesn't show up in that first column of starters. And that, from what today, it may be fixed tomorrow. But Nate was telling us that was quite the topic of conversation in Coach McCarthy's press conference at 10 o'clock this morning.
It was, man, and he defended Steele. He said, up to this point, Steele has played great. He's did everything we asked, and he didn't say he deserved to be there, but he's one of our best players now, and hey. And Lyle gives us, I ain't heard this in a while, player flexibility at both guard. And it's a competition. I'm like, wow. And then hear Mr. Jones say a couple of days ago, well, Lyle ain't played in a couple of years, so he ain't had much playing time. Bruh, I'm going to tell you. And then Amber of this other team, Amber, stood up, what's the little guy about your height?
David Hellman.
and Nick, guy. I tell you what, I'm not done with these little reverend. He walks out of here yesterday, called me little fella.
Little fella. That was so funny. You didn't even hear him.
I didn't hear him.
Yeah, he didn't hear it. And you know what? So and I was laughing going out when you say, hey,
Jesse made sure I heard it.
Yeah, it was so funny to me.
Go ahead. What Dave said?
But Dave was like giving all these different opinions. Dave is a world of opinions. And he told, we're getting so ahead of ourselves and this, that, and other. And Nick was like, nah, we need to discuss this. I'm like, and then Amber said, you know what? Y'all can play with this how you want, and you can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, Dak better be standing up after this game. Yep. He better be healthy at the end of the day. And that got it for me. And then it's like, well, Nate, where do you stand?
Amber's the voice of reason on that show.
Yeah, she's the Jesse.
Yep.
Even though she shot Jesse down during open week last week.
There has even been some talk of Dak sitting out this week and Cooper Rush getting some snaps.
With Cooper, if he needs to play, can you do as much as you would with Dak, with a guy he's not starting a game, not played very much?
No, that's a great question. I think you go into it with a full dose plan, and and I think the second year as an offensive staff, and the regulation of volume is something that you really got to watch, especially coming out of a bye week. And I think Kellen's he's conscientious of that, and but at the same day, it's about the quarterback. We need to make the quarterback successful, and the way we played the first 6 games, we've been running the ball effectively, and the action pass has come off of that. So I mean, we want to stay in accordance with our past success, but also know that this is a new challenge, and as I said earlier, everybody has a ton of faith in Cooper if it is his opportunity.
When you guys are assembling an opening script, I guess the overall game plan going in, how much is what a quarterback likes kind of dictate some of what those first 15 plays of the game plan looks like, and how different is what Cooper likes versus Dak likes as you kind of work through that process?
Yeah, I think a lot of my experience is the quarterback likes and what the coordinator likes is usually pretty similar. It's not a matter of one liking it over the other. It's more a matter of when you're going to call it. I think that's a big part of the relationship of the play caller and the quarterback, and and that will be no different if it's Cooper and Kellen or if it's Dak and Kellen.
When you put Light on the side yesterday, how did he look at guard?
Good. I was curious to because it's different challenge in there. Obviously the pad level and stance and so forth, but it looked like he was riding a bike. He looked like he picked right up, and I thought LC had a nice practice yesterday.
Dak looked great at practice this week, but calf strains can be a little tricky. Stay tuned to find out why. Dak was jogging, throwing, and enjoying a fun Halloween party with his teammates this week, which gives us no reason to believe he wouldn't be ready to suit up on Sunday, right?
What is up with Dak on this Wednesday?
Dak's playing. There's no doubt about it. CD said he was 90%. Obviously McCarthy's not going to – he has to be smart and say the right things, but they're pointing toward Dak's plan. You watch him. Certainly started out with Britt Brown on the court, athletic trainer. Britt Brown, the best in the business. Hear that, Britt? All on the courts.
Britt gets mad if you don't say
I know it.
Like that.
I know. I'd like to get off of his list.
He started doing individual drills. I mean, there was, we've been, there've been signs pointing.
Not a part of the beat if you haven't been on it.
Yeah,
that's right.
There's been signs pointing all the way back to last week when you see him at the Stars game, you see him at the concert. He's wearing cowboy boots. When he came and talked to us on
Halloween
Monday.
costume.
Halloween costume. And there's no boot on. He's jogging. He's throwing passes. He doesn't look like that. He looks like Dak. That's what He looks like Dak. He didn't look any different. Certainly Mike McCarthy and Will McClay, hovered over him while he was doing some of his rehab work and certainly getting an extended look at him. But he looked good. He looks fine. Certainly they're being smart about it, but he looks fine.
Fine. Hurt. Go.
Well, I was just going to say, full transparency, I had to leave practice after seeing him on the resistance cords to go do TV for NFL Now. But seeing him move laterally on the resistance cords, moving with Britt strapped to him and backpedaling, doesn't seem like there's any limitations in the calf that I saw. And then, of course, you guys saw him throw, so I'll let you give those observations. But everyone I had reached out to starting back last week to this week, I would be absolutely floored if they didn't play him. The only thing that I heard from Mike McCarthy was do you want it to be a lingering issue where it pops up week to week?
Yeah.
Is this a game that you think to yourself, well, maybe if we give ourselves one more week to make sure he's healthy, if we're going to make a push with him, do we want to make sure this is fully healed? Because I think if you let that decision come down to Dak, every week Dak's going to tell you he wants to play. I mean, Dak would have played in the preseason, I think, if they would have let him go. I mean, he was ready to go at practice.
Well, we saw him go crazy on Hard Knocks. He
remember
couldn't
they all
believe
said,
he couldn't play.
they've got to protect him from himself, but I just have no reason to believe he's not playing on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I do think that if he was still dealing with it, in a lot of pain, they wouldn't have him upright here on this early into the week. But I'll say this about a calf injury, though: it's the calf injury is a drunk uncle that you're not really expecting to show up until they show up. And when it shows up again and says, "Hello, I'm back,"
That's right.
How does he handle that? How much pain is that going to be in? I will be shocked if Dak plays this game and you don't notice anything.
Okay, guys, I am going to be optimistic here and say Dak is probably going to play. The good thing here is if he doesn't, the Cowboys have a 3.5-game lead in the NFC East. Randy Gregory talks momentum going into the week when we return. Coming off a bye week can be great. The team had a little extra time to heal any lingering injuries, but it could also hurt the momentum of a 5-game win streak.
You guys built a lot of momentum up going into the bye week. How do you make sure you sustain that now coming out?
Well, it starts today. We got to come out here with good energy. I think we did it at parts. As a whole, I don't think we had the kind of day we wanted to. But it gives us a chance to come back and have a better day. Keep the energy, lock in on some of our mistakes, and we'll be good to go come game day. I think we're both off a bye week, so I think that's kind of a plus that they're off 1-2. But we got to worry about ourselves, come back better tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, and then go out there and have a good game.
What are some of the things y'all want to clean up from practice today, and how much of that is pretty typical in the first practice after a bye?
Just a lot of misalignments, at least on the D-line. We're always installing things and new formations and packages and things like that. So it's still kind of fresh in our heads. We'll come in, fix some things, probably take some things out as the week goes, like we usually do. We just keep repping it, keep watching film. Usually by game day, we cut down on a lot of those mental errors and misalignments.
How good was that bye for your knee?
It was good. I actually got it shot up yesterday. So today it probably feels the best it's felt since probably since camp, I'd say. But I have little minor issues I gotta take care of too. My whole left side of my body's not doing that well right now. But the bye week did help a little bit. It gave me a chance to get off my feet. Like I said, yesterday I went to the doc and got it shot up, so I'll be good to go on Sunday.
What's going on the left side of the knee?
Just other stuff. We'll find out if it keeps nagging me, but nothing big. Just I slept the wrong way I think the other night, and my neck's kind of messed up because of that. So sleep number didn't do well for me.
Kind of the grind of the season where everything kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get used to it. You manage it. I was really worried about my knee the last month or so, but it's gotten better. Throughout the week is probably the biggest issue for me. Game day, I feel good, but it's real important for me to be good to go on Wednesdays and Thursdays, be able to go out there, have a full practice, and not really be limited and things like that. So I'm glad I could do that today and yesterday also.
Along those lines, Randy, how much difference do you think the 17th game will make mentally, physically?
I don't know. It's a long season regardless. You take one game out. I think obviously this year we had the extra preseason game. So I think we really have, 2 extra games than most people. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to play that big of a role in anything. I mean, at least for me, I missed the game already. So I'll be right on schedule with what we did last year, I guess,
All right, guys, it is that time for Caption That. Now, remember, if you want to be featured on Cowboys Rewind, you have to go to Dallas Cowboys United on Facebook or Instagram and make sure you join the fan club. Each week we post a picture. This was the picture this week. You guys remember this from the game. CD made that amazing catch to win the game, right? Well, our caption is from Manuel, who says, Dak, can you believe they charged me 10 grand for waving at someone? I can't believe it either. Well, hopefully I don't get charged for this wave because this show is over. Thank you so much for tuning in to Cowboys Rewind. I'm Britt Johnson, and I'll see you next time.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit swbcmortgage.com to find a pro today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.